electric Kia. Just pulled away like a scooter, no noise. What do we got here? What we got here is junk. Junk. If I can get the camera to stay steady. We got junk here. Crank that baby up. We got a head gasket problem on a General Motors car. Anybody want to guess what it is? Give you a hint. Style. This thing's got style. Cadillac style. Yeah. Yep, uses a gallon of antifreeze every 100 miles. Some days it uses more, some days less. Starts off rough, which means it's probably a bad head gasket. Because when I was in California, Palm Springs, the fellow at the Cadillac shop said the crossover that has the water pump and a whole bunch of stuff, the crossover leaks the gaskets where it attaches to the cylinder heads, give out after 10-15 years, 150,000, which is what this thing's got. It's a 1997, almost 20 years old, with 140K, and it runs well, but it's rusted. Look at this side of it, Eldorado. It's too bad, nice car when it was new, but rusted. Oh boy. Drip, 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 drip. That's gasoline. How's a frame? Rusted. Frame is rotted. This thing is junk and she's dripping. Yep. Rusted junk. Oh well. Gave 19 years of good service. Yep. Drip. 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 Somewhere from the radiator. Can't tell where. Too dark in there. Plus the head gasket, plus the hose there is a little leaking, but it's the head gasket because it's not leaking that much. And I got this thing cranked up, well, not very high. I can crank it up higher, but then should just blow up. NorthStar. In the hot rods, somebody made a nice valve cover for the back. The front valve cover that you can see is all fancy, but the back one is just an ugly plastic one probably that holds a bunch of electronic controls. Too complicated. Way too complicated. Which runs nice. Crank this baby up. Cadillac. Crank her up. Bing, bing. Runs real nice. As long as you don't mind putting a $500 gasket job to her. There's belts and pulleys. Starter in the intake manifold, under the intake manifold. Oh, sounds just like a vacuum leak. Doesn't burn any oil at all. Just leaks gas. A variety of other fluids. It's time to trade this baby in at the junkyard. 25 bucks a ton. Price is up from last week. Yeah, drip, 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 drip. Too bad. Nice and clean, well maintained. Those cams are spinning real nice. Sad, so sad. Junk. Don't want to do any high-speed runs with this thing with the engine rocking back and forth. got a junker. 25 bucks a ton. Come and get Eldorado. Junk. New tires. The rest of it is rusted junk. She's all jacked up. There it is. Drip, drip, drip. It was just spraying. Psst. Look at this thing. It's worse. Much worse than I thought. This thing is rusted to smithereens. There's nothing left of this thing. Gas tank straps are galvanized so the plastic tank won't fall off. It's already had one fuel line pinched. Oh God, I'm gonna touch this thing, I'm gonna regret it. Everything is rusted junk. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's even galvanized. Didn't help. There's one on Craigslist in Miami Beach in '93. No check engine light worries. It's OBD1, so you don't have to worry about the check engine light. 56,000 miles, 80-something thousand kilometers, 3,500 bucks. Drip, drip, drip. Oh, this thing is finished. Too bad. Rotted junk. What do you do with a? What do you do with an Eldorado? It needs to be in the junkyard at 25 bucks a ton. What have I done in the last 20 minutes? I took the easy way out of doing this repair. I could have changed the fuel line from the filter. It's plastic on the other side. And disturbed the other lines. Who knows what's really working on this thing. But I put two hose clamps on, a strap one and a worm type. And it stopped leaking. This thing is junk. Got an exhaust leak over there, and it's just rotted. Noisy heat shield and rust, rust, rust. How those bolts hold? Who knows? This thing belongs in the garbage. I'm going to fix the radiator hose leak. I wonder how the front suspension is, the steering. Real tight. Roll bearings are good. Wow, this thing is really tight. I'm surprised. Pretty fancy car. Yeah. What's leaking? Thing's leaking. Water pump's over here, and idler water pump's over there somewhere. The guy in Palm Springs showed me where it was. Too complicated. This is a 97. Cars are 20 years newer now. 19, 20 years. Too complicated. Maybe all that's wrong is the overflow bottle's leaking. It's not a head gasket. Upper radiator hose. How do you get to it? Take out the battery. Oh, bother. Said Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh. Where is Winnie the Pooh from? Saskatchewan, Saskatoon. I heard the story. Interesting story. I'll fix this. We found one of the leaks. Rip. One of the hoses underneath the coolant recovery tank. If I can get a socket on it, tighten it. It's probably a plastic T and it'll bust. And I wish I wouldn't have touched it. Oh yeah, now it's leaking worse.